Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a full day of eating with the Georgie boy. I'm just out this morning for a little morning walk. It's about 5 a.m. this morning, and honestly, guys, I fucking love morning walks first thing. It's like the streets are so quiet, nobody's about. I love it. I love just being up before everyone else. I don't know why, it doesn't mean anything, but I just fucking love it. Polishing off the day, well, not polishing off the day, but starting the fucking day with my 2-litre jug. People always complain about not having enough fluids to drink in the day. Oh, I can't drink fluid, or I don't like water. I only get 1 litre of water in per day. It's like honestly speaking to children. You know when you ask a child, can you please drink more water, please? Get yourself a jug. You don't need to get it from Supplement Leads. You can get it off Amazon. Like type in 2-litre jug. You know what? In this video, if this video gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to give away some jugs for some people to fucking drink that water. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and let's get into this full day of eating with the Georgie boy. Right, so the first thing we do every single morning for the first hour of the day is meal prep the food. Honestly, just get up a little bit earlier, meal prep, it'll save you the hassle and the time. What are you giggling at?
I'm just giggling that I've actually come down in the stage and in bed.
Yeah, well, Vicky normally is in bed, but she's actually came down this morning because I know it's a leg day. So Vicky, when it's a leg day, she gets up a little bit earlier, but when it's like an upper body day, she'll have a little bit more of a lie-in, won't she? But I always personally like to start the day by meal prepping, getting the food ready for the day, so I haven't got a fucking hassle about doing it later, and then I have more time throughout the day to do the other things that need to be done. And in my opinion, like meal prepping or starting your day off by meal prepping is a good way to start off the day. You're actually doing something which contributes towards the day, rather than fucking pointlessly scrolling through fucking Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. Sometimes what I do is I just put a podcast on, meal prep, and I'm like, right, I'm listening to something that I know is going to help me and educate me for the day. And as well as that, I'm meal prepping, it's contributing towards making the day even better to reach my goals. So very simple. And then we dive into meal number 1 after that. I'll run you through what meal number 1 is. Obviously our full day of eating is completely different to what it was before now, so I'll pre-warn you about that. Okay, we've been watching too much Love Island, and they all go, okay, especially what's his name? Ao? Okay, so meal number 1, if this fucking camera decides to fucking work. Gone for a protein fat meal. I'll explain at some point in today's video why we've gone for a protein fat meal, but we have 3 whole large eggs, and then we have 3 whole egg whites, which is around about 100 grams of egg whites, some kale, we have some bell pepper, and we have some mushrooms in there. Vicky is the exact same. You'll be very shocked to see that our food is the exact same in the mornings. And then we have some mayo, lighter than light mayo on top, some 50% less ketchup, and a little bit of mustard to go on top, with, of course, some pink Himalayan salt. Only fair, let me show you that taste test. Let's go for a little bit of egg. I like my eggs a little bit like undercooked in the microwave, is that how you call it? What I notice is when you cook it and then you leave it to sit for like a minute or 2, it will cook itself. So I always undercook it a little bit for then it to cook itself in the little bowl that we put it in. Let me grab some kale as well, because I do like kale. There we go. It's solid, it's creamy, it's good. Bell pepper and mushrooms going right down there. Do you enjoy this meal, Vicky?
Yeah. Not very hungry in the mornings.
No, I noticed that as well, to be honest with you. I'm not fucking starving anymore. I think you train your body to eat this sort of way. Now we're eating a very small meal. Sort of train your body to not be hungry in the morning. Anyway, that's a taste test. I'll eat that and we'll catch up afterwards. First meal ticked off at around 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and as you saw, guys, it was a protein fat meal. So just running through the macros for that first meal: 29 grams of protein, 15 grams of fat, and 1 grams of carbs, 258 calories for that first meal. So again, Protein fat first thing in the morning, for me, has always been quite beneficial, whether it's been in a diet or whether it's been in a bulk. Purely down to the fact that, especially in a bulk setting, I find that when I have to consume so many carbs, as soon as I have carbs first thing in the morning, I'm really lethargic. Because everyone had that where they had so much energy when they woke up first thing in the morning, they had their first meal, and then afterwards they just feel fucking drowsy and felt worse after having that breakfast. And you normally think breakfast is meant to fuel you for the day, right? But it does the opposite. One thing that I like to do first thing in the morning, even more so when I'm dieting, is a protein fat meal. Because one, for the reason that I just said, and two, I personally like to eat more food in the evening. Like, I'm more of an evening eater than what I am in the mornings. Like, I like eating a higher amount of carbs or food before I go to bed, because I find that going to bed when I'm full makes me sleep better, makes me wake up feeling better. So there's an element of like backloading my food as well, which not many people take into consideration. And also just cognitive brain function as well. When I do my work, I'm most productive in the mornings when it comes to my work. As soon as I have carbs, I just want to hit the fucking pillow. I'm yawning. And a third reason, actually, as I thought about right now, especially in a diet, when my hunger starts to escalate and I have carbs first thing in the morning, I just want more fucking carbs, mate. I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, yeah, I'm absolutely starving. Whereas when I have a protein fat or when I fast for a little bit in the morning, I just forget about it. I'm not really hungry until I sort of start eating, if you know what I mean. I would definitely recommend trying it for yourself. If you find yourself with those things that I've just said being the case, then try a protein fat meal first thing in the morning. That's the reason for the first meal. I hope that all makes sense and it's worth giving it a go. And I do that with some clients as well, and they respond really well to it. Anyway, coming up to 9:30 and I'm nearly through my first 2 and a bit litres of water. Usually the goal before I train is at least getting in 3 litres of water, so I'll polish that off. I'll polish off another litre before I go. Always find it makes a difference, so don't be fucking lazy. Get yourself a jug, okay? You're not a 12-year-old child who only gets 1 litre of water per day. Get your fucking water in, guys. Here, guys, is a microwave steamer. If you followed the channel for a while now, you guys know I got this from TK Maxx back in my 2019 prep, and I still use it to this day. So, long story short, the easiest way to cook your veg, in my opinion, especially for anyone who's lazy as fuck, is microwave steamer. All you simply need to do is just put some salt in there. So I'll put some pink salt in there, and I'll put some water in there, and I'll basically put on the lid. I'll open the flap at the top here, and it will steam your vegetables, which is, one, very convenient, especially as you haven't got to fucking sit there and prep it, and two, actually makes it taste really, really nice. Sorry guys, I'm just doing a piss as I speak. But one thing that, I always see a lot of people complain about is I don't like veg, or I can't get enough vegetables in the day and I really struggle. That is probably one of the easiest things that you can possibly do, is you don't have to even fucking watch it. You just literally put the timer on, so I put it on for 4 minutes, and it's fucking done. So one thing that I would suggest if you are struggling to get your vegetables in is, one, actually grow up, because again, veg carries a huge amount of micronutrition in it, which in my opinion is super, super important. And two, like, it makes a huge difference when you're dieting, adding in a little bit more vegetables. They're very low calorie, and it's gonna fill you up a little bit more as well. And on top of that, you get the fiber benefits. So fiber is gonna be great for actually helping you go for a fucking poo, which when you're dieting, it gets a little bit of a struggle sometimes, especially if you're dieting for a huge amount of time, you're getting pretty lean, you don't go for poos much.
Meal number 2, we've got rice, 5% beef mince, beetroot and kimchi. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't look like the most appetizing meal, but it actually tastes absolutely incredible. Topped with a little bit of 15-calorie mayo, little bit of low-calorie ketchup and mustard as well. Now, kimchi is something that we've recently just started trying. It's not something that I've actually had before, ever before. I'm a Polish girl, so I'm used to sauerkraut, which is another form of fermented cabbage. This is a Korean. I thought it was Japanese.
A few moments later.
Kimchi. Oh, well, apparently it's Korean. It's Korean fermented cabbage, which sounds absolutely disgusting. It's crunchy and spicy, not too spicy for George because he can't handle much. Well, how would you describe the taste of kimchi?
Like spicy lettuce.
Cabbage!
Cabbage.
Spicy cabbage. The benefit of this is basically all fermented foods have probiotics in them, which help with inflammation, help with your gut function, help with George's constant diarrhea. So we started having this. I'm not gonna lie, it is actually really expensive. For a little jar like this, it's probably around like £3.50, and it's only like 300 grams. So it does cost an arm and a leg. If you want a cheaper option, Polish sauerkraut. Tastes sour. This in my opinion tastes better, but this does the same job ultimately. Too much of it and you will be gassy though, so just watch out.
Great for gut health in my opinion. I've added it in and my gut has been way better. Right, Mango's just gone shit now as well.
George has just been walking up and down the garden because all the dogs are shitting, and basically we've got a next door neighbour. We pick up the dog's shit, but she for some reason has an issue. So say for example Squirrel's shits outside, she'll call the council and she'll be like, it's those dogs, they're shitting outside. So we just make sure to pick everything up. What to do this time?
Double tap the screen on my face. That was jokes. I saw people comment on that as well. So in here I have 80 grams of raw weight jasmine rice. We always weigh our rice is raw, just simply because obviously the time and length and the water that you put in is obviously always going to vary the weight that you obviously have total amount. So I always just recommend doing it raw. I think we have like 80 grams of beetroot, is it? Normally you put in there like a handful of sauerkraut, no, kimchi. Like I get these fucking words mixed up, to be honest with you. You told me 3-4 years ago to eat this shit. If you watch the channel, no way in hell would I eat this shit. So shout out Vicky for implementing that. And then I have 125 grams of raw weight grass-fed beef mince with ketchup, mayo, and lighter than light mayo.
What we should start doing, and this is going to be the next full day of eating, is making our own sauces and having, like, you know, Eddie Abu's daughter makes a tomato sauce.
Was this a fucking cooking channel now?
Yes.
We're trying to get fucking massive. We ain't trying to get fucking small. Everyone will turn off watching that shit. No, to be fair, it'd be quite fun. But I have no idea about cooking, guys. My cooking goes from like, it's like the equivalent to like a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, you're good at cooking the meal prep, but if you had to go outside of that, when we first switched up our diet and started incorporating potatoes, I had a consult course. I was like, George, can you please do the potatoes? This boy was stressing. He was like, how do I cook potatoes? Put them in the pan and just check.
I don't know how, I've never really cooked potatoes. Guys who've been following the channel, when do I ever eat potato in my diets? The only time I used to have potatoes was the McCain's baked potato ones that you put in the microwave, so I didn't have to do anything.
So you're lazy then?
Yes.
Great.
But never really have potatoes, so now I know how to make them. I actually make them better than you. You'd agree on that. You'd agree on that, because you've enjoyed mine more than what you enjoyed yours.
I've enjoyed not having to cook it, that's for sure.
I forget to take my supplements this morning. I'm such a fucking bad bodybuilder. However, we use, this is a big, you can't really tell on camera, but it's a big supplement box because we do take a fair bit of the supplements. Now, what I've got in here is my morning supplements and my PM supplements. So Thursday morning, I have a shit ton in there, but we've got omegas, we've got curcumin, we've got vitamin D3 and K2. I believe I've got some of my supplement needs health stack as well, which we usually split within the morning. I'm gonna try and see if I can get this all down in one on the camera. Right, you ready for this? I can't even look, all of that there. Wow. Oh fuck, you know when it gets like stuck in your throat, it starts like scraping the sides of your throat, down your tube here, whatever this one's called. Oh. Fuck. Anyway, did that. That's supplements. I'll see you in the next bit. Go on, pull me then. Go on, that's it. That's it. He's actually fucking strong, this guy. Go on, Diesel, pull it. Go on, pull it. That's it, pull it. Go on, pull it, yes. You're a dickhead. Right, so got my Ray Beans on, still from Thailand. They're doing a good job, to be fair, and they actually look pretty decent. The quality's all right. That's one thing I liked about Thailand is that everything was fake shit, but the quality was decent. Enough off about that. We are out for our first walk of the day. At the moment, we're doing 10,000 steps around that sort of mark. So we usually split that into 2 little walks. So first walk is a bit, well, it's meant to be a lead walk, but Diesel's walking himself. And the second walk is just out the back, quick, easy, well, sort of simple walk in. So we usually split it with like 5,000 steps in the morning, 5,000 steps in the evening. And usually I would accumulate a little bit more around the gym and all that sort of stuff. Don't be sitting down all day, like I said in the recent video. Get out and about, get active, do your thing, and you'll feel so much better for it. It is time to prepare our pre-workout meal. So follow the channel for years, you would know that I had cream of rice for like the last 4 or 5 years. And whilst I still love cream of rice, whilst I still love cream of rice, we've gone for something which is just, in my opinion, from a nutritional.
Really?
Sorry.
He tries to be all fancy and like educational from a nutritional standpoint. But this is the real George.
Clumsy as fuck.
Oh, you broke it.
I've broken it. Oh shit, I split it, didn't I?
Is that another thing you're going to say you're going to replace but never do? Yeah.
What I was meant to say is we've gone for basically for oats pre-workout. I would say this is one of my favourite meals of the day by far. I have around 80 grams of oats pre-workout. I've just opened a new box when I've not needed to. Oh no, I needed to. Tripod for today with my camera is kitchen roll. What I normally do is I normally put some salt in there. So I'll have a gram of salt in there before I make it. And then what I always do is I zero the scale, as you can see there. And then what I'll do is I'll put my water in it. Now, in my opinion, when it comes to water, milk, see a lot of people, I've coached a lot of people that are like, George, can I use milk? And I think when you're dieting, like, do you really want to be wasting calories on milk? Not really. So, in my opinion, this is. So, my ratio, if I have about 80 grams of oats, I'm going to have about 300 ml of water. I'll put that in for 2 minutes to begin with. Give it a stir. I'll take it out. Give it a stir. I'll put it back in for a minute. Stir, and then ideally I'll keep it to a consistency that I like before I add my whey protein. So that's how I've always done it. Again, there are many different methods that you can use when it comes to making oats. That's my preferred method. I'm gonna let that cook, and I'm gonna show you the extra ingredients that goes down. Right, 2 minutes in there. That's what it looks like after 2 minutes. Give it a bit of a stir again. Another, I'm gonna say 30 seconds. 30 seconds later, that is pretty much the consistency that I go for. Now, it's always going to change when you add the whey in. That's one thing to remember. So if you have like a whey isolate and you put whey isolate into oats, it's going to turn it very watery. So you want to overcook your oats. So when you add the whey in, it doesn't go as watery. So for me, with the whey that I add in, that is perfect consistency. So I'll let that cool down. I'll add the protein in, and then we'll add the other bits in. So usually I make this about 30 minutes before I actually eat it. Because I like, this is tell me on diet when you're telling me on diet, right? I like, with the blueberries that I put on, them to still be slightly frozen. Because if I put it on fucking piping hot oats, they just go to watery piss. Protein of choice in the oats is the Protein Fusion Plus milk chocolate. I am a milk chocolate fan when it... Manny Life, the caramel peanut butter. It has a little bit of a caramel taste, but it just tastes like normal peanut butter, in my opinion. But it's a good quality one, Manny Life. 20 grams of that. Honey, 20 grams on top. And then we have some lovely blueberries. Right, so our pre-workout meal. Can't really see it because it's tracking my face right now. I need to get used to this GoPro thing. 80 grams of oats, 40 grams of whey, 100 grams of blueberries, 20 grams of honey, and 20 grams of almond butter. 1 gram of salt going in there. That is my pre-workout meal. We'll eat this 60, 90 minutes before we go and train. Ready for a fucking big push day. Hear me. So you guys know I am a big fan of intra-workout carbohydrates, or intra-workout in general. For 1 serving of EAAs, I got 30 grams of carbohydrates. Now for me, keeping an intra-workout in my diet phases are quite important because I love training, and my performance is obviously something that I very much enjoy and want to continue progressing. You know, this is all about the 1%. I think one thing that I always say to anyone who is a bit unsure as to whether to use Intra-workout or whether it's worth the investment, try it, see how you get on. If you notice the benefit, then potentially it's worth it. If you don't see any extra benefit from without taking it, then don't bother. Yeah, save your money, spend it somewhere elsewhere in terms of food, looking after your family or whatever you need to do. But for me, it's always been a staple. Contest preps, bulking and dieting all year round for me. So the goal is to actually finish this ideally 3/4 of the way through the training session. I see so many people still sipping on it and they're getting back in their car to go home. Whilst you could say potentially that's going to help with the recovery aspect post-workout, simple, easy, quick carbs, it's very much easier to basically just get this in 3/4 of the way session, actually utilize it for what it is, intra-workout for the session itself. So finish it 3/4 of the way through, job done. Our post-workout meal here. Also, I'm actually eating from the 1MR travel tub. It's like a tin. It's like a camping tin. It's actually quite good, to be honest with you. So me and Vicky pretty much have the same meals, just different serving sizes. So at the moment I have 100 grams of raw weight rice post-workout. I have green beans and asparagus, so like 100 grams, like 50 grams of each in there. And then underneath, you probably can't see it a little bit there, is 150 grams of chicken breast. Vicky's a little bit lower in terms of the rice. So she has 60 grams of rice on upper body days and she has 70 on her leg days. She also has green beans and asparagus and she has 125 grams of chicken breast in here as well. Right, let's give you a nice taste test of my camping. The rice is obviously done in the rice cooker earlier. We do that and then we bang it in the fridge, and I absolutely love cold rice. People are a little bit picky when it comes to that sort of stuff, but we've got a little bit of chicken here. Again, the chicken is air fried chicken. Put it in there for about 12 minutes on 200 degrees. A little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mayo. It's very nice. And our vegetables, if anyone gives a fuck, we steam it in the microwave. We've got a microwave steamer, which you may have seen on the channel from TK Matt. And then what I do is I put it in the Fucking hell, I put it in the pan. I put it in the pan to make it a little bit crispier. So it's steamed in the microwave, which is, in my opinion, the easiest, the best way to cook your vegetables, and you can cook it in batches as well. So post-workout meal went down a treat, and what I wanted to discuss here quickly was the importance of like post-workout nutrition and what I would recommend you guys eating in your post-workout meal. Obviously, the goal from your training sessions is to almost deplete glycogen storages. I mean, you're not going to fully deplete yourself unless you're like an absolute madman, but the goal is you've created a demand from your training. Your body is now in a more favorable position to uptake carbohydrates. That post-workout meal, the 100 grams of rice that I'm having at the moment, is the highest carb meal of my day. Why? I've created that demand. My body is going to be more sensitive to uptaking that food and absorbing that and sending it to where it needs to go, which is the muscles, to help repair, grow back bigger and stronger. So post-workout, you always want to be looking for something which is easy digesting. So as you saw, rice is a great example. You see a lot of people eat cereal post-workout. It's easy, it's quick, simple sugars, fruits as well. You can look at white potato, a little bit slower digesting, but if it sits well with you, in my opinion, isn't an issue. Rice cakes, jam, honey, all these different things which are very easy for you to get down. Bagels, square bars. Typically, I personally recommend to a lot of my clients aiming for underneath 10 grams of fat. You don't want to go over 10 grams of fat in my opinion. Not, it doesn't make a huge difference, but reason why we keep fats pretty low in that post-workout is because fats play a role with blunting the uptake of carbs. So what you'll find is that if you have a higher fat meal, those carbs are going to slowly release in terms of digestion. And post-workout, we don't really want that. We want to try and digest them as quickly as we can. So typically my advice is try and stay underneath 10 grams of fat. When it comes to your protein sources, again, you want pretty easy, quick digesting, which sits well with you, protein. So a lot of people go for whey isolates post-workout as they are easily quicker absorbing compared to a whey concentrate. Whey in general is quite easy to digest. Some people I know have problems with it, but that's where I would suggest chicken breast, as you saw with myself, turkey breast, lean beef is. We'll run with that. Cooking up the last meal of the day before we chill out and watch Love Island. Big fan of Love Island at the moment. Absolutely loving it. Shout out. Who should shout out? Joey Essex. Don't know.
Who's your favourite in there?
Who's my favourite? Probably Kieran. He reminds me of Jack Thorburn, to be honest with you. I very much doubt what Jack's watching. Actually, Jack might be watching this video.
Shout out Jack.
Shout out Jack. So, just preparing the last meal. We are having some chicken. We've got some chicken in here, frying that. Also, a new addition into the meal plan, which you've not seen on the channel probably ever. If you can see that. That is some lovely potatoes in the air fryer. We boil the potatoes for about 10 minutes and then what we do is we put them in the air fryer for about 20 and they come out looking like that. Absolutely beautiful. We've got some tender stem broccoli in there, loving that. And then what we'll have is some cheese as well. So we'll melt the cheese on top of the potatoes. 10 out of 10. And for me, it's a perfect meal whilst dieting. But like, if I had to eat a huge amount of potato in an off-season, the bulk, it'd be quite hard for me to get in because I probably need to eat a kilo a day, which food volume wise is not great, but in my opinion, like, potato is very good for the actual volume you can get for it. I have 400 grams of potato. If I had that in rice, that would probably be around, I don't know, maybe 100 grams of potato. So you get 4 times the amount, which is obviously going to fill you up a little bit more. So this is our last meal, and surprise, we've got the exact same meal. Vicky doesn't even need to do a full day of eating. It's just exactly what is on my channel, to be honest with you. However, the only difference we have between the two is I've got 400 grams of potato. Vicky has 350. I have 130 chicken. Vicky has 120. Tender stem broccoli, some kimchi, some cheese in there with some lighter than light mayo, of course. Let's 3, 2, 1. Let's all say it together with mustard and ketchup. That is our final meal of the day and looks absolutely splendid. One of my favourite meals of the day. Look at that. Guys, dieting can be easy. You don't have to suffer. Problem nowadays, people just want to suffer. They want to eat very low foods or they want to, you know, I can't stick to my diet. But when you actually eat good quality whole foods, like, I'm not even hungry. I am going to end this video here for you, my YouTube family. If you have watched the whole video, comment down below headphones or AirPods. Let's type in AirPods. AirPods if you've watched the whole video. I really appreciate it. So just running you through the total amount before we end this, because I appreciate this is going on for quite a while, this YouTube video, isn't it? So my food intake for a train day right now, 2,716 calories, 210 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and 334 grams of carbs. That is what I'm eating right now to get lean. Whether it changes, I will let you know over the coming videos, but I have really hope you've enjoyed a little bit of a longer, sort of more educational type sort of full day of eating whilst having a little bit of entertainment and a bit of fun. I'm hoping you'll be able to take 1 or 2 things from it that you can implement in your own day-to-day life. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, keep that fucking nut in the motherfucking game, and I shall catch you guys in the next one.